Good morning. We're in the office this morning.
The comms are so loud I can't
And
hear anything right now. I think it's because he has his speakers on his TV and a headset mic.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sorry.
It's okay. Keep him honest. What are we doing? First of all, we're having coffee. I need to also have water. We're also hooking you up. Hold on. Handy dandy. That's why this carabiner comes in so handy, okay? First of all, I want it noted this was not the originally intended purpose of this carabiner, but it works mighty well, okay? And you don't... This is a good mic. Yeah, this is a good mic. We're picking up keyboard sounds. This is ambient noises, all kinds of shit. Well, anyway, what are we doing? I decided I was sitting here, I was trolling the tube of the U, trying to find something to watch with my coffee, and I realized they really ain't shit I feel like watching with my coffee. And I have this 4th episode of Bride of Charlie to review. And let me just say, I believe that this is probably the last episode of this that I'm going to watch for now. All right? If the algo decides to let me know that something actually has happened on this series, then maybe we'll pick it back up. But frankly, she's lost me. All right, we're 4 episodes in. That's 4 hours of my life that I will never get back. And we're over it. All right. It's just... All right. So... what are we doing today? Welcome back. I'm the queen of shit talk, darlings. Okay, we're gonna be real this morning. Not that I'm not real every morning. Pardon my jiggling. But I'm just... this is also tiresome, you know, and I expect better. And that's the whole point of this series, right? Is the cultivation of excellence, because we're Americans, even within our con artists, our muckrakers, and our, you know, whatever. But I've been watching the Candace Owens Bride of Charlie series and giving my professional criticism. Pardon me. My professional criticism, yeah. Nobody's paying me for it, so it ain't professional yet, but amateur criticism, right? Because superficial queen, here to let you know exactly what you are doing wrong and how you can do it better. And kind of a recap, I think that both parties involved, Candace and Erika Kirk, have made some mistakes. Okay, first off, Erika Kirk,
Seriously, mine's at like 34%, 35%.
She's made some what we would call unforced errors in other arenas, right? Like we've got a lot of there's a lot of unforced errors happening in the political arena right now, right? We've got a lot of political figures in situations that they haven't been in before and are having forced errors that they're creating because they're treading new ground, right? And
we had to build our own computers.
Wow.
Dog, I'm like 39.
Everybody's really impressed. But anyways, I mean, I'm impressed. I've seen a computer build and I wouldn't do it, but
Love animals.
Anyways, so I think the parties involved are both doing things very successfully, undoubtedly, but they're also making unforced errors, right? On Candace's side, Candace is a remarkably good muckraking reporter, right? And you may not believe that she deserves the title of investigative reporter, right? There are certainly investigative reporters of different stripes and not professions, because they share the profession of focuses, specialities. That's what we're looking for. There's certainly other professional investigative reporters who have different specialities than Candace Owens. But within her field of, YouTube content, clickbait content farming, I mean, muckraking in the modern era, there is no one better, right? Like, there will probably be pop culture, People Magazine, TMZ, Candace Owens classes in the future for people, who are looking to, both the psychology of human beings and how to be the best muckraking reporter of your time, right? Like, how do you become a great content investigative muckraking reporter? And to be specific, for those of you that don't know, muckraking is a term that refers to someone whose investigative journalism has no legal repercussions in a court of law, because there's nothing that can be proven that is illegal or felonious, right? But instead is just a pile of he said, she said, implicatory evidence that can't be used in any way to determine a legal outcome, right? Like, and that's what Candace is. And she, to her credit, she's done a very good job, right? I mean, you really don't want to be someone who ends up having the Candace Owens of the world go into your background if you got some sketchy familia hiding in the corners, right? Or, if you're someone who really wants to know about the people in your life, then get a hold of a Candy O, okay? She's going to help you out. This woman will get you your information, and you won't have to give the government your DNA in order to find it, right? Like, she's better than 23andMe. Like, get famous and get Candy O on the job, all right? You will find out what, every bump on the log in your family tree was up to since the inception of documented history, all right? So props to her for that. Erika Kirk, while it has been revealed that she has some, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon relatives that are allegedly up to nefarious no goods, her biggest crime in Candace Owens' docuseries so far is that she's an ex-beauty queen, and was looking to marry someone who mirrored the path that she saw for herself in life. That's Candace's biggest gripe.
Somebody posting.
So, and personally, that and that she doesn't seem like she's widow enough. Okay, she's not playing the widow role well enough, and so the public is mad. That's the overarching thing here, is that the public basically feels like what the widow Kirk is not performing her widowhood to their satisfaction. All right, which, whether you agree with it or not, darling, the audience is giving you its review. Take notes, make changes, adjust thy course, right? All useful, handy information to have. But those are the key takeaways, right? And in this episode, which I really episode 3, I mean, I told you guys, I need her to start tying her bow here. Like, I know she really wants to get as many eyeballs on this series for as long as she can, right? Like, she posted this 14 hours ago. She's already got 1.2 million views on it. Like, this is a huge series for her, right? But, like, there is a certain point where, in my opinion, you start to lose traction because, like, what are you giving us? What are you giving us? You're really giving us a whole sandwich of nothing. Like, it's really just nothing, truly. Like, the whole, let's see, at the beginning of this, she spends like 5 minutes going on about how TPUSA is farming Charlie's old content for views, and Candace somehow views this as reprehensible, like this isn't what she's doing with this whole series and has basically done since the day he was shot. Just because you're masking it as concern doesn't change the fact that you're doing exactly what you're accusing everybody in this video of doing, right? Like, Candace is also making money off of using Charlie from the grave to get eyeballs, okay? And so she spends like 4 minutes talking about, you know, how TPSU is doing this, USA is doing the same thing she's doing. And then she recaps the characters from, you know, the first 3 episodes. That's, you know, another like 4 minutes. And she has to do this because these are all people that have absolutely like second, third, fourth, fifth degree of separation from Erika Kirk herself, right? Other than her mother, Lori Franz-Fay, which Candace is obsessed with. Like, we really have gotten to the meat that, like, Erika's mother, Lori Franz-Fay, is the true arch villain in this story. We still don't know what exactly Candace thinks is going on at TPUSA. There have been some vague hints at things, but other than some pointed allegations of alleged embezzlement at TPUSA, there's really, it's very thin on the ground from actual accusations. So she gives us our little cast of characters recap, which we're going to need. Again, we're 4 hours in, and I mean, who are these people? Like, nobody but Kansas knows or cares, all right? And then we finally get to a new character, because God forbid that cast isn't stuffed enough. And this is, again, the first thing that just popped into my mind. I'm watching it right now as well, right? Just to refresh. I watch it with subtitles so that I can, you know, not listen to her talk to you, and then also kind of get refreshed on what exactly is happening. But anyways, I'm watching this, and the first thing that pops into my mind is kiss. Keep it stupid simple, right? But then there's also the axiom, if you can't, it's, what's the baffle him with bullshit? Baffle him with bullshit. What's the first part of that?
Dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah, that's the one. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. Okay? And there's a lot of bullshit in here. There's a lot of filler. We don't need all this shit, okay? You could have, like, distilled this down, made this really poignant, but you didn't. And there's a reason why, okay? And there's a reason why we're adding another character called Uncle Rick Erpenbeck, who is, again, Erika Kirk's attorney. She talks about more, like, clerical errors from, like, 1972, which, like, oh my God, I'm sure that Candace's parents and her older family members have not once ever had to deal with a clerical error from 1972. Like, oh no, Jesus. So she goes on about that, and at this point we're about 30 minutes into this hour-long episode, all right? She spends a really long time on clerical errors. All right, then she gives us a really interesting, what is this? This is like a 5-minute segment about the history of Eastern Europe and what used to be Soviet bloc countries, and how they demographically became what they are, and their history of immigration from Russia to Eastern European bloc, former USSR countries, their history in the world wars, and their history of immigrating to the United States. It's a very interesting segment. Frankly, I don't know that it has much to do with anything that she's talking about in this episode, but it is a really interesting look into what exactly Candace spends her time looking into, and world history, right? So interesting little historical tidbit there. Then she starts talking about Vince Lombardi, the football coach, okay? She pulls up a clip of Charlie mentioning that the reason that they have a lot of Green Bay Packers memorabilia is that Candace's mom is somehow related to Vince Lombardi, okay? It's like, all right, cool, like whatever. I'm sure that nobody with that similar last name has ever claimed, a close relationship to Vince Lombardi ever once in their life. Like, that's just never happened. But anyways, so she goes into this, but Erika's mom's last name is not Lombardi, it's Lombardo. And I guess there is a Lombardo family that has a history with the Italian Jewish mob or something. I don't know. Some kind of mob in America. There was a family once upon a time that in the mob in the US had the last name of Lombardo. Okay. And Candace is postulating that because there's it is unclear whether Lori Franzway is a Lombardi or a Lombardo, then Candace is just going to run with both, and she's going to tie Erika's mom, Lori, to both the Lombardo crime family and to Lombardi, the football coach, which, because the Kirks are unclear about this. So she's just going to, yeah, it's... Okay, great, Candace. You're going to make leaps to conclusion, like the ballet bear. Like, brilliant. Can't wait. Can't wait, except I can. So she goes on this for 8 minutes. She spends a lot of time on this, right? And then she goes back into Erika's, quote, missing year. And keeps trying to make this quote unquote missing year. And by the way, this quote unquote missing year was back in 2008. Okay? 2008. And Candace is out here trying to act like someone not having digital documentation of their life for a year in 2008 is somehow suspicious. It means that she was sucked up by the MkUltra goons, mind wiped, pumped full of, performative Bible beating, and spit back out into the world so that she could then go forward 10 years later, meet Charlie Kirk, marry him, and somehow be tied into the cover-up of his assassination while her mom embezzles money. All right, that's where we're at. With very little actual evidence that ties Erika Kirk to this, other than Candace's glaring disappointment that she was not sent a Miss USA "You Were Nominated" flyer in the mail when she was growing up. Okay. But yeah, it frankly, it's tiresome. I'm tired. I'm bored. You've given me nothing. And as much as I appreciate the soap opera-ness of it all, there is a point where you're just wasting my time, and the little hype clips of trying to pull in every single hot key buzzword SEO term that is, trending on Google, X, TikTok, and, insert algorithm here is just, my God, you guys, this is so... It's good, but it's only good for so long, okay? And that's what I think my notes for Candace Owens on this whole presentation are, right? Like the coach's notes from me on this series is that Candace really needs to tighten it up, right? Like you're going to get a lot of views on this series long term anyways. So you need to tighten it up. You need to tighten up your delivery. You need to tighten up the web that you are weaving. It needs to be unbelievably easy for people to describe, discuss, and explain this web that you are weaving, right? Even if it is bullshit, you still need to package it in a way that is really easy for the lowest common denominator of your audience to explain it and talk about it, right? And to stay engaged on it, right? Because there does get to be a certain point where, and maybe that's the reality, is that nobody's actually paying attention to anything anymore. And just like everything else, Candace Owens knows that her hour-long episode is going to be put on as background information while people scroll the algorithm on their phone. And so she's never really going to have eyeballs on it. So it doesn't matter what she says as long as she rambles on long enough for you to stick your head up out of the sand, look at it, put eyes on it, and catch the general gist that she's trying to imply with her implications. Okay? Like, but I can tell you right now, as someone who tries to watch this as like TV in the truest sense of the word, when I'm waking up, I want to drink my coffee. I just want to have something on that I can lightly watch and, decompress, get my day started. And you giving me this, okay? You giving me, I married an English lord, but I'm going to talk shit about another woman who married a man who matched her energy, okay? Because I just want to remind you guys that the key accusations that Candace has made against Erika thus far are as follows. Her widowhood performance is unacceptable. All right, that's number one. The key overarching, this is what kicked this off, is that, first of all, Candace Owens needs a paycheck. And the widow Kirk performance was not up to Candace's standards, okay? That's the number one. Widow Kirk performance. It ain't good enough. Number two, Erika Kirk got a beauty pageant you were nominated flyer in the mail, and Candace did not, all right? And then Candace also is trying to say that Erika Kirk did not really love her husband, and Erika Kirk's religiousness is a performance, and that her husband was not hot enough for her. And that's why Candace can tell that their relationship was fake. Which, this last one, talking about Erika's relationship, Charlie's attractiveness, and, the realism of the Kirk's marriage based off of mutual alignment on where they wanted to end up in life, I think is honestly quite telling about Candace herself, right? Like, how superficial are you that you're going to accuse another woman of meeting a man and having expectations of her partner that he will rise to her level and meet her on the path that she wants to have in her life, right? Like, this is normal. It's normal that you date people. It's normal that you marry people. It's normal that you're in relationships, friendships, business relationships with people whose goals align with yours. This is normal. The fact that Candace is like trying to act like this is not normal is weird, all right? And then the fact that she tries to say that Charlie, who is tall, brunette, highly successful, does not align with who Erika Kirk has dated in the past because Candace herself doesn't think that Charlie is hot. Like, sweetie, how superficially disgusting are you? That's a gross opinion. That's really gross, especially coming from someone who got married in 17 days after meeting someone. And he happens to be the future baron, whatever the heck, okay? Like, he's going to be a member of the House of Lords. Like, an inherited title, House of Lords, is Candace Owens' husband. She met him and married him within 17 days. And she's talking shit about Erika Kirk's relationship with her husband, who was just assassinated. And those are the main accusations that Candace has. Erika Kirk's widow performance is shabby. which I don't disagree with. She could have handled it differently, and we could be in a different place now, right? Erika Kirk being a beauty queen. Candace feels a really, like, significantly a type of way about this, all right? And Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk's relationship was fake. Mind you, Candace used to work with Charlie before she met her husband that she married in 17 days. Which, like, if Candace can make implications, I can make implications. But yeah, after 4 hours, 4 episodes, that's the recap. I gave it to you in 25 minutes or less. Yeah, again, don't know that I will be in this series for much longer. I certainly am not going to be sitting around waiting for the next episode to drop. I will watch it when I get to it. But I think that it's a lot of balls on Candace to come out here and start calling pots black when she herself is a kettle. Okay? But that's just my opinion, okay? Nobody asked it, nobody's looking for it, and I'm sitting here giving it anyways, all right? And my daddy would tell you that opinions are like booty holes. We all got one, we just don't want to smell them, okay? And he's right. But you know what? This is the internet. This is my channel. I can talk about what I want. And if you don't want to be here, you can get the fuck out, all right? But that's the episode for today. We got that over with. And I don't have to waste my time on this anymore. Because she's clearly got nothing. But anywho, oh, and I will just tack this here on the end. This is not to say that I don't believe the whole Madame Macron thing, okay? And the key difference, in my opinion, between the Candace Owens, Brigitte Macron series is that that was actually a story that has been worked on by multiple French reporters, who some of whom are now deceased, and Candace Owens was merely the English megaphone that this information was passed through to reach a broader audience. But yeah, that's why I think there's a significant difference between the Brigitte Macron series and the Becoming Brigitte series and what she's doing here with Erika Kirk. But yeah, anyways, that's it. Have a good one, y'all. Don't trust anybody. And it doesn't get any better than this.